Hi, I'm David Madawo with Urban Zoo, and I'm sitting down here with Edibam Ekwere, aka RAI, for an exclusive interview with Ego Magazine. All right, so how are you doing, RAI? Feeling good?
Yeah, bro, I'm feeling blessed right now.
That's awesome,
Just want to
dude.
say thank you guys so much for this opportunity as well.
Of course, man. So let's dive into it. One thing I wanted to talk about with you is we can tell by your immaculate style. This guy's not just a rapper, he owns a clothing brand.
Yeah.
You want to tell us about Cass Clothing?
Cass Clothing. Basically, it's a brand I started at the end of grade 12. I kind of started it because back then, like, thrifting wasn't as popular. And I'd look around at these, like, the cool kids or popular kids, and I'd see the clothes that they're wearing. I'm like, bro, I want to look like them. I want to be, like, looking all fly and
What
shit.
school did you go to, by the way, so we can understand?
Uh, I went to Strathcona Composite High School. So if you're from Edmonton, you probably get what I'm kind of saying, you know? Parking lot full of like Mercedes and brand new Beamers, and those were not owned by the teachers. So basically, yeah, I realized I couldn't afford those clothes, so I looked online, and the next option was to make my own clothes, and that's how Cass Clothing started.
You have some crazy styles when it comes to like Cass. You have the reflective pants, the reflective bras, and shirts with Huey on them and stuff like that.
Facts.
Like, what were your like inspirations for to come up with those styles and everything?
To be honest, like growing up, like I always watched a lot of anime. I just find like anime, you can be more immersed in that world, you know, versus like a human TV show, I guess, or like a real TV show.
Yeah.
They need a certain level of CGI to get like fully immersed in like, let's say, like a space show, you know, versus an animated TV show. It's everything's drawn, you know, so you're extremely immersed in that. So I drew from kind of Japanese culture, and that's how I kind of came up with the idea of the sweaters. And it's just like a saying in Japanese, and then one in English, like the translation.
What does recording and writing then look like for you? For those of us who aren't lucky enough to go into your studio and sit down with you and see how you do it, like what does it look like?
I find I really try to get into like a vibe, you know, like I forget what it's called. It's called like flow state, you know, and usually it starts off with me just kind of browsing through YouTube, looking for beats, and I'll just rap on them, freestyle on them. In my room, I've got like LED lights, and I've got like different modes, I guess, with like Alexa and stuff. So like one mode I really like is like red. You know, it's just all red. It's kind of gives us like aura, you know, like very like fierce aura. And I'll just be in my room, standing, sitting, and just going through these beats. And as soon as I freestyle something that's just either it's like a hook or something super catchy, I immediately record that, and then I build a song off of that usually.
You're also known to be like an awesome collaborator, you know.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I mean, I think so at least.
Oh,
like
thanks,
badly,
bro.
people are still singing that
That's
today. So like,
facts.
what does it like? What do you look for when you are either being approached by someone to collaborate, or when you're looking to collaborate with someone? Like, what does it take to work with RAI?
Honestly, I'm glad you're asking this question, because like lately, like a lot of people hit me up asking like, yo, let me have you on the track, this and that.
Tutorial right here.
This is the how-to, yo, how to have rye. Honestly, like I've been doing this for a while, and I just find, especially when it comes to certain people, like I gravitate towards certain sounds. You know, if the song is good, then I'll, you know, be more inclined to hop on it. But if I can kind of tell that maybe you're starting off, and like at the same time there's no problem with just starting off, but I prefer someone that kind of knows a little more of what they're doing, you know. And even in terms of like collaborating myself, I find it, at least in the beginning, and I'm trying to get out of this, but I found every song I either started or was creating myself, I found it felt almost like my child, you know? And I always felt like, it always just like felt weird, you know, asking someone else to be on that. But I'm really trying to, I don't know, lately I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, you know? So, yeah.
I remember like getting to like know you like you know, a year or two ago,
Yeah.
and like just seeing the quick come up that you've had. What has that been like of it? Is it like harder to navigate the music industry here or easier through your experience? Yeah.
I would say probably like easier for me. I didn't notice like any obstacles. Like it was weird, yo. Like, cause I started rapping probably like end of grade 12.
Yeah.
I started with freestyling. If you guys want to start rapping or anything, I recommend when you're driving, have a playlist of just beats and just freestyle, cause that's what all I did, you know. And through that, you kind of get better at rhyming, get better at feeling the beat. You also get better at just finding flows and different melodies and being more comfortable with your own voice.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like the scene here, like I still feel like really new to it, you know? Like I wasn't really the person that necessarily enjoyed like going out all the time. Like I like working, man. It's weird to say, but like
And then all of a sudden you're headlining shows every weekend.
Yeah. It was weird, bro.
Yeah.
Like I went from for my biggest example, I guess, like in the Fava place, like Blue Cobina, I went to shows before I like even released anything, and I just remember seeing that guy on stage. I was like, "Yo, this guy's amazing. This shit is crazy." And then flash forward like a few months later, and I'm opening for him, or like
Yeah.
just in this building, like I was
Yeah.
on the same set list as him. That was crazy to me, and now like we're cool, you know. We're gonna be working on a few tracks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is your, and if you can kind of bullet point them each, because it's going to be 3 questions.
All right.
First, worst, and best show. What was your first show, your best show, and your worst show?
First and worst show was.
I love how a lot of the worst shows are always the first ones.
Always the first one, yo. It was like a private event at the Coral Plaza before they like shut down, and it was for a lash. Like my friend was opening like a lash brand,
Yeah.
and so she invited me to perform, and it was my first show ever. And I had 3 songs ready, but the thing is, like, I thought it was like private. Like I didn't invite none of my friends. I just pulled up alone.
Yeah.
After pulling up, I found like the other artists, they brought their homies and stuff. So I was just like there alone, just like chilling. And then I got to perform, and like I didn't realize like you should practice before you perform, kind of thing. Like I practiced like in the shower and the day of, but you need to practice before, like week before. Basically, like I lost my voice
Oh,
at the end of the first song.
not good.
And then I had 2 songs left,
Yeah.
and so my voice was like barely there on the
Yeah.
second one, and then by the third one, like I remembered like half my lyrics, so I was like rapping, and then I was just like,
Turn into smoke perp.
yeah, I couldn't even like hear my words just the way the
Yeah.
speakers were placed, so I was just like waiting till I could hear it, you know, again, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Just trying your best.
yeah. Then best show, I'd probably say either my last show at like the Horlack Park, or there was this I forget what it's called, but basically they rented out like an Airbnb in the city, and it was like a skinny house, and then they set up live instruments, and we just did like live versions or acoustic versions of our songs.
That's awesome.
It was amazing, yo.
Yeah.
That show gave me so much confidence in myself as well. Just because like before, I'd always either have like the beat in the background, and I'd always like leave like a certain vocal just because, to be honest, I wasn't necessarily confident in my own vocal ability. But at that point, like it was almost like I was forced to kind of perform, you know, like.
Yeah, you're backed into a corner.
Exactly.
And you have to do your best. Yeah.
And that show like unleashed some part of me, because like I freestyled like my last song, and bro, like I just felt way more natural, way more like way more organic, I guess.
Well, that's all the time we have. I just want to let you guys know again, this is RAI. Check out his new song, Cold Coffee.
Yes, sir.
It's a banger.
I appreciate
Anyways,
that.
RAI with Ego Magazine. Thanks
Yes,
again,
sir.
man.
All right. Peace out, guys. Cut. Gang.